The story of David and Goliath is known throughout the ages. It's a story of courage, faith, and the triumph of the underdog. We all know how it ends. The young shepherd boy, David, defeats the mighty giant Goliath. But the story is much more than just the outcome. It's about facing our fears and believing in something bigger than ourselves. This timeless tale takes place on a battlefield. The Israelites, God's chosen people, are facing the Philistines, a powerful enemy army. The tension is palpable. The fate of a nation hangs in the balance. Goliath, the champion of the Philistines, was a terrifying sight to behold. Towering over 9 feet tall, he was a mountain of muscle encased in thick armor. His voice boomed across the battlefield like thunder, striking fear into the hearts of even the bravest Israelite soldiers. For 40 days, Goliath challenged the Israelites to send out their champion to fight him. Victory, he boasted, would mean the defeat of the entire nation. Day after day, no one dared to answer his call. Fear had paralyzed the Israelite army, leaving them hopeless in the face of this seemingly invincible foe. Far away from the battlefield, a young shepherd named David tended his father's sheep. David was a young man of deep faith, completely devoted to God. He spent his days caring for his flock, playing his harp and talking to God. One day, David's father Jesse sent him to the Israelite camp with food for his brothers. David arrived at the camp just as Goliath issued his daily challenge. He was shocked to see the fear in the eyes of the Israelite soldiers. He was even more surprised that they would allow this giant to defy the living God. David's heart burned with righteous anger. He knew that God was bigger than any giant, and he believed in the power of faith over fear. He said, "Is there not a God in Israel? This Philistine will fall, for he has defied the armies of the living God." David's words reached the ears of King Saul. Though skeptical of the young shepherd's confidence, Saul summoned David. David boldly declared, "The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." His words, filled with unshakable faith, revealed the source of his courage. It came from God. Section 5. The call to confront fear. King Saul, impressed by David's faith, offered him his own armor. David, however, refused the heavy and unfamiliar gear. He knew that his strength came not from earthly weapons, but from his trust in God. He would face Goliath, armed with his shepherd's staff, a sling, and 5 smooth stones. David approached the battlefield with the calm assurance of a shepherd tending his flock. Goliath, enraged by David's size and apparent lack of fear, cursed him and charged. The giant underestimated David's courage and faith. Section 6. 5 stones and a sling. David knew that his strength lay not in his own abilities, but in God's power working through him. With a prayer on his lips and a heart full of faith, David reached into his pouch, selected a smooth stone and loaded it into his sling. He whirled the sling above his head, letting go at just the right moment. The stone shot forward with incredible force and precision, finding its mark on Goliath's forehead. The giant, stunned and disoriented, crashed to the ground with a deafening thud. Section 7. Victory against all odds. David's victory stunned the Philistines and sent them running. The Israelites, invigorated by David's courage and faith, charged into battle, routing their enemies and securing a resounding victory. David's faith in God allowed him to overcome his fear and defeat a seemingly invincible enemy. He showed the world that true strength comes not from physical might, but from a heart surrendered to God. Section 8. Finding your own Goliath. Each of us faces our own giants in life. They are the challenges, fears, and insecurities that loom large in our minds, threatening to overwhelm us. They might be fear of failure, illness, financial hardship, or relationship problems. But no matter how big our giants may seem, we serve a God who's bigger still. Remember the words of 1 John chapter 4, verse 4, "Greater is the one that is in you than the one that is in the world." We have access to the same power that helped David defeat Goliath. When we place our trust in God, we tap into a strength that surpasses our own. Section 9. Faith, the giant slayer. David's story teaches us that faith is not the absence of fear, but the choice to trust in God even when we are afraid. It is the unwavering belief that He is with us, fighting our battles and empowering us to overcome any obstacle. So the next time you face a giant in your life, remember David. Remember his courage, his faith, and his refusal to back down. Choose faith over fear. Believe in the God who is bigger than any giant and watch him do amazing things in and through you.